one throne, one worship. This is the sharpest edge of the whole book, the place the Shema cuts closest. On worship, God is not merely clear, he is jealous and exact. Nowhere does he speak with more precision than about who may receive bowed knees. My glory I give to no other. To me every knee shall bow. Never once worship us. And then the New Testament bends that very knee, the one reserved for Yahweh alone, to Yeshua. So the question is not academic and not soft. Is this idolatry? Are two beings being worshipped? Has the first commandment just been broken? If the answer is yes, the whole reading collapses, not into Arianism or Unitarianism, but into sin. So the objection gets its full, frightening weight before any answer. The texts, "Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah our God, Yahuwah is one," Deuteronomy 6:4. "I am Yahuwah, my glory I give to no other," Isaiah 42:8. "My glory I will not give to another," Isaiah 48:11. "To me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear allegiance," Isaiah 45:23. And then, at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father, Phil 2:10-11. That all may honor the Son just as they honor the Father, John 5:23. To him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb be blessing and honor and glory and might, Rev 5:13. How the room reads it. Here the Unitarian plays his highest card, and it is the most serious objection in the entire book. He is not nitpicking grammar now, he is guarding the first commandment. My glory I give to no other. And you want to give Yeshua the worship of God? Then you are giving God's glory to another, which is the definition of idolatry. The strict monotheist has stood watch over this for 3,000 years, and he has right to stand watch. Worship is exactly where a high Christology turns, if it is wrong, into the very sin the Shema exists to forbid. Do not wave this away. Feel its edge. The only thing that answers an objection this serious is to ask, with equal precision, one question. When the Son is worshipped, where does the worship land? Two recipients, or one? Where the worship lands, read Philippians 2 to its last word, because Paul is porting the very text the Unitarian wields. To me every knee shall bow, Isaiah 45:23. Paul takes that line and bends the knee to Yeshua and finishes the sentence, to the glory of God the Father. The worship does not stop at the Son as a second object competing for glory. It passes through him and lands on the Father's glory. One stream, one terminus, reached through the Son, resting in the Father. Glory is not divided between two, it arrives at one. Then John 5:23 makes it the Father's own command, and this is the verse that ends the idolatry charge. That all may honor the Son just as they honor the Father. Whoever does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. There are not two honor accounts here, one for God, one for a rival. There is one, and the Father himself places the Son inside it. To honor the Son is to honor the Father. To withhold honor from the Son is to withhold it from the Father. So worshiping the Son is not stolen glory. It is the Father's expressed will. A creature could never command that. God just did. And Revelation shows it happen and resolve. In chapter 5, blessing and honor go to him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. In one breath, the same fourfold honor, undivided. And by chapter 22, the two have become one address, the throne of God and of the Lamb. One throne. His servants will worship him. One hymn, the resolution that arrived in the last field. Not two thrones receiving two worships. One, no other. Read exactly. Now, go back and read Isaiah's wall precisely. Because precision is the Unitarian's own weapon, and it cuts his way only if it is read carelessly. My glory I give to no other. The decisive word is other, and other is a second, a rival, a different God alongside Yahuwah. And that is exactly what the Son is not. Everything before this battle was spent establishing it. He is the seen of the unseen, the distinction within the one God, the self-expression of God, the fullness of Godhood bodily. He is not a second deity beside Yahuwah. He is the one Yahuwah's own word made flesh. So worship spent on the Son is not given to another. It is given to the one God in his self-expression, and it returns, Paul says, to the Father's glory. Isaiah's wall is not broken. It is upheld. There is exactly one terminus, and the Son is not another. Which means the worship texts are not the Unitarians' knockout. They are, if anything, the Arians' undoing, because if the Son were a creature, the Arians claim, then worshiping him would be giving God's glory to another, and Hebrews would be commanding idolatry when it says, "Let all God's angels worship him." Heb 1:6. The only way the worship of the Son is not idolatry is if he is not another, if he is the one God himself, expressed. The jealousy of Isaiah does not forbid the Son's worship. It requires that the one worshipped be God. The middle God did not leave press it harder, because the other readings survive only by living in a middle the text refuses to grant. God was not vague about worship. He was jealous and exact. My glory I give to no other. To me every knee, never once to my chief servant, never to my exalted agent. He left no sanctioned exception, no category of creature it is permitted to worship. And he doesn't change. I, Yahweh, do not change. The jealousy of Isaiah is the jealousy of the Gospels, not a rule quietly relaxed between the Testaments. So the worship of Yeshua forces a clean two-way choice with no third option. Either he is the one God, and the knee bent to him is bent to Yahuwah, the Shema kept, or he is not, and the worship is the precise idolatry God most jealously forbade. There is no comfortable middle, where he is highly honored, not God, and worshipped anyway, because that middle is exactly the exception a jealous, unchanging God refused to leave open. And the squeeze tightens, because God does not merely permit this worship, he commands it. The Father says that all may honor the Son just as they honor the Father. He tells the angels, worship him. A jealous, unchanging God who commands the worship of one who is not himself would be commanding idolatry, which is impossible. So the command is not a loosening of the rule. It is proof that the one commanded to be worshipped is the one God. This is where the other readings do not reckon hard enough. An honored agent who receives the worship God reserves to himself alone by God's own command is either the one God, or the whole New Testament is idolatry with the Father's signature on it. The honest word, this is where the Memra stands with the Trinity, not against it. And here is the most important sentence in this chapter, because the temptation is to claim a victory that is not there. This resolution is exactly what careful Trinitarianism says too. Worship of the Son is not idolatry, because the Son is the same one God. The knee bends to him to the glory of the Father. One God, worshipped in his self-expression. On the worship question, the Memra reading and the historic Trinitarian reading land in the same place. Neither out-argues the other. They simply agree. One God, worshipped in his self-expression, the knee bent to the Son, and the glory returning to the Father. Where the readings finally part lies elsewhere. Now look again. Strict Unitarianism brought its strongest charge, idolatry, and the charge fails, but notice why. It fails only if the Son is the one God's self-expression, which the Wall of Battle 4 established. The Unitarians' last escape is to refight Battle 4. If that wall held, this charge cannot stand. Worship lands on one, by the Father's own command. Strained through, modalism has no quarrel with one worship. One God, its trouble was never the unity but the distinction. Battle 2. Arianism is worst off here. A worshipped creature is idolatry by Isaiah's own rule, so either the Son is not worshipped against Phil 2, Rev 5, Heb 1:6, or he is not a creature. The worship texts are anti-Arian. The Memra, worship stays single. Isaiah's wall holds. The Son receives it not as an other, but as the one God's own self-expression, returning to the Father's glory. Phil 2:11, one honor account by the Father's command. John 5:23, one throne and one hymn at the end. Rev 22:3, the Shema is not broken by the worship of Yeshua. It is fulfilled. One God, one worship. Trinitarianism reaches the same resolution. One God, worship through the Son, to the Father's glory. Here the two readings agree without remainder. The residual, there is no unsolved tension here. The worship resolves cleanly to one. On this field, the readings run together. The Spirit, where they finally divide, is the last field. The receipt, reading, reads plainly, must interpret, tag, list, walls, walls, walls. Strict Unitarianism, my glory to no other, forbids worshiping Yeshua. Worship that lands to the glory of the Father. Phil 2:11, the Father commanding the Son's honor. John 5:23, strained through. The idolatry charge fails if Battle 4 held. Modalism, One God, one worship. Its trouble was the distinction. Battle 2. Plain here. Arianism, a high creature may be honored. A worship creature equals giving God's glory to another. Isa 42:8, Heb 1:6. Tension, the worship texts are anti-Arian. A worship creature is idolatry. The Memra, worship single, the Son not an other. One terminus, one throne, one hymn. Rests on Battle 4 if the Son were not God. This worship would be the idolatry Isaiah forbids. The resolution is contingent, not freestanding. Rock solid, the Shema is upheld, not broken. One worship. Trinitarianism, worship terminates on one God in three persons, bent to the Son, through the Son to the Father's glory. How three persons receive one worship, without splitting into three cults. Rock solid, the Shema holds. One worship. No verdict beneath. The sharpest charge in the book, that this is idolatry, has been answered. Worship lands on one, and the Son is not an other. The readings have run close across these fields. The Spirit where they part is the last. Keep your tally. End of section.